start at 7 o'clock. So I want to welcome all of you to the virtual Granbury meeting. And pleased to have this small group with us. We can only hope that the group enlarges when we go to live meetings, which I'll announce it right up front. We will be going to live meetings in June. We have I've signed the agreement with the activity center here for Bentwater and paid for the reserving the room for June through November. We do not have a December meeting here. We have one club meeting in Arlington, which is the Christmas party. So we will have 6 meetings here. And while I'm talking about meetings, I'll ask, which you can let me know later, anyone willing to do a program at any of those 6 meetings, I welcome you to let me know via an email. And you can have a topic identified at this point or identify a topic at a later time. So
It's Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Welcome, Bob Coleman.
Bob Coleman.
Good to see you.
Bob, I almost didn't let you in because you got a wrong name on there. So
Bob, you hearing us? I'm not getting any response and not hearing you, Bob, if you're connected there. But that's a summary of what we're going to do here in Granbury.
Okay.
I hope one of those meetings we can even have an auction. I'm thinking maybe about September, giving us time to bring things together and advertise it and give every member an opportunity to sell some things if they choose, and as well as to buy things that other members have access to their collecting needs. So welcome, Cy. Good to have you.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Very good. Thanks. Thanks. We're just starting off with the welcome. The next item I usually go to is the show and tell. Rick, do you want to start the show and tell?
I have nothing at all today, Dave.
Well, that's unique, to be honest with you. I'll go then to Stanley. Do you have anything for show and tell?
Yeah, I really do. Since Rick doesn't collect first day covers. Okay, this is a cover I just recently acquired. And if you'll notice, there's something kind of unusual about it. Can anybody guess?
4.5 cent stamp.
Yeah, right. How about the cachet?
Can't really see who that is. A Van Buren?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 8-cent Van Buren. It's a Lin print cachet, and somehow they put the coil on it and put it on the wrong cachet. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's unusual.
Yeah. Oh, and I talked to Joe Crosby, and OKPEX will not be going on this year. But he says it will be on 2022.
Okay, they usually held that in, what was it, July or June?
Yeah.
June. Okay. All right. Joe, anything, or Judy, anything for show and tell?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll go to Joe McFarland. Joe, anything for show and tell?
Give me a moment. Let me get something.
Okay, well, I'll pass it on to Fred. Fred, do you have anything for show and tell?
I do. I have 2 of the patriotic Civil War envelopes that are the same picture, but one of them has been watercolored, so it has more depth and 3-dimensional look to it, but it's like a before and after shot.
Yeah.
I don't know how well you can see that.
No, I can see it very well. I hope everybody else can.
We're getting a little reflection off the glossy stuff you've got it enclosed in, but we can make it out.
Okay. But I've
Those
been,
Southern Patriotic covers,
these are all Union
Union.
that I've got mostly. But I have a couple of Confederates.
They're pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, they are either mint or used. I've gotten several reference books that have helped identify what things are. And one of the biggest sales, I guess, of this material was the Andrew Levitt nutmeg sale in about 2004, I think. And I got a copy of that catalog this week. It's got 6,500 all used through the mails. I have no idea how much the auction totaled out, but it had to be a huge number. But they're all cataloged by flags, by shields, by dogs, cats, and other animals. And the way he broke this, it was a 40-year collection that he finally decided to sell. And it was amazing. It's amazing just to see how he cataloged everything to keep things straight and organized. I don't know if it was ever exhibited, but I found the book really interesting and helpful.
Okay, thank you, Fred. Joe, are you ready now?
It's a show and ask. Can you see this? What's all that about?
No airmail?
Yeah, it's the only thing in his collection that had that.
Is
It may
that,
be possible that he was sending an aerosol container or something like that. It couldn't be in an unpressurized.
Yeah,
is that a flat or envelope, or is that from a container?
it's from a container, from a cardboard box.
Yeah. When did you get that?
That was in my father-in-law's collection.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Unabomber caused lots of problems with the postal system, and you could not drop boxes with stamps on it in the regular blue boxes.
Okay.
Because they were afraid they were bombs. And I think I've got a couple of those that have that airplane with the X on them. I could be wrong, but I think that might be the reason for that.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. It's
Yes, it is,
2000.
Joe.
What's that?
It is, Joe. Interesting. Thank you very much. Bob Coleman, anything for show and tell?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay, I didn't know if I was on or not. No, I don't. I don't have anything today.
Okay. Bob just went through some oral surgery, little down in the mouth. You feeling better?
I'm getting there slowly but surely.
Okay, well, speedy recovery to you.
Thank
Ken
you.
Aldridge, anything for show and tell?
Yeah, Rick, can you allow me to do a full screen, a share screen?
Yeah, sure. Hang on a second.
John Withers, you're a little late, but welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with you fellows.
We're right in the middle of our show and tell, John.
Happy to
Okay.
have it, John.
Yep.
Okay, Ken, I think you can go ahead and do that now.
All right, bear with me here for a second. I got to get to what I need to get to. Let me know if you can see this. Can you see anything on the screen?
You,
We see you.
Pardon?
we see you,
Oh,
we see you and everybody else, but don't see your
I want
screen.
you trying to display.
okay, let me see if I can do this again. Okay, Rick, I brought this up out of my documents.
Mhm.
And I can see the document, but how do I get it on the Zoom screen?
Or you click on the document and then hit share screen on your Zoom.
Oh, okay. let me go back and I get out of this. Bear with me here a second.
No problem.
That's like a bunch of old people trying to be technical.
It's the learning curve.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'll ask Skip. Skip, do you mind taking notes? Because Gene is not able to be here tonight.
I'm doing that.
Thank you very much. I failed to think of that when we started.
We start off slow, but we taper off.
Well, that doesn't seem to be working. That's
If
too
all
bad.
else fails, hit delete and start all over again.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to my documents, what I wanted to show you. And I'm clicking on that. And then I got to get back to the Zoom. So I minimize this. Is that right, Rick?
You can just drop it down in size a little bit, yeah. And then you should be able to pick up the window for the Zoom meeting. I go to share screen and then go back up to There you go.
how's that?
Yeah, you got it.
Got it.
Baseball.
Okay, this is 28 baseball brochures, one of each of every Major League Baseball team in the United States, except the United States. 2 Canadian teams were not. There's no brochures for them. The post office put this out in 2000 and early 2000 as a promotion for their Legends of Baseball sheet that came out in July of 2000. Now what they did is they sent these, like for the Houston Astros, like the one shown there, they sent a bunch of them to the post offices in Texas. New York Yankees, they sent to New York, and so on and so forth. So as any, the frustration of people that like to collect the full set, a bunch of collectors rallied around this, and John Hockner actually got behind a program to ask collectors to send from their particular area these brochures, and he put together 100 sets. And then with the cooperation of Lynn's, they advertised it, and you could send in a postcard lottery request for one of these 100 sets. So there were only 100 of them that came out. Now I don't know how John Hockler may have 500 in his pocket somewhere. I don't know, but anyway, they're pretty rare. What I did is I solicited a bunch of my friends, about 10 or 12 of my friends at the time, to send in an application, because you could only send in one application. And one of my buddies got awarded this, and I gave him to me. And so anyway, it's kind of an interesting little tidbit of philately. Now I'm going to try to get out of this and go to another show and tell by Ken. Hang on here. I got to go to
Baseball teams.
Oh, okay, the balls from the
Yeah.
teams, and then they put them in with the sheets.
Mhm.
Interesting. Makes a nice collectible.
Mhm.
well, that didn't come up, did it?
You haven't got anything different.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to exit out of that So the picture you got there, baseball picture.
Oh, I thought I did X out of that. Okay, get out of that.
There you go.
All right. Sheen has stopped. Okay, let me just give this one last try. It's a PowerPoint program I've been working on. Something I've been putting off. There's the document. Now, if I can get it to full screen, to share screen. See that?
You're getting to be a professional.
Well, this is Czechoslovakia. Some of you may recognize that name, but he is probably the most famous stamp engraver ever. And I'm putting together a PowerPoint program about him and some of his stamps. And I just thought I'd show you this one. He happened to be at the Aeropex stamp show in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, in 2004. And I was living in Phoenix at the time. And I had 3 or 4 things that I knew that he had engraved. And one of them was this souvenir sheet from Sweden. It is the largest souvenir sheet that's ever been issued. And I went and met with him, and I took a picture of the sheet with his picture on it and duplicated it, and he signed it. But I've got several things that he signed that I'm including in the program, plus a lot of his stamps, the more elaborate stamps that he engraved over the years. And interestingly enough, he died in 2005. So he was born in Poland, and he went to work for the Polish post office. And I did get just today in today's mail, I ordered up from Hip Stamp his very first stamp that he engraved for Poland, and I'll include that in my PowerPoint program. But a few years later, he went to Sweden, and he moved to Sweden, and of course, most all of his work was done in Sweden, and a lot of them were Swedish stamps. But he did stamps for other countries, like the islands, like the Faroe Islands. They're quite elaborate and full of color and detail. So I've been sitting on this project for several years, and I've been working on it. And when I fine tune it, I'll give a program on it one of these days.
That'd be great. He was known as the world's best engraver. Some of his stamps are just amazing quality.
Now, how do I get out of this?
Just hit the X up there in the corner.
X is always your friend.
Yeah, there's no X on this. So.
There's an X on the photo up there, above there,
Right there.
up to the right,
Now,
to the right,
Yeah,
up.
a little higher, right there.
I thought it was that other.
Thank you, Ken.
X
All right.
always marks the spot.
Si, anything for
I couldn't
show and
see it.
tell?
I couldn't see it until I put the pointer on it, and then it showed up.
It showed up.
Si, do you have anything for show and tell?
Yeah, sure. Maybe not as interesting, but I thought it's something I'd share. So in 2012, the US Postal Service had put out these commemorative stamps for the War of 1812. So it's a 200-year, I guess, commemorative stamp. So there's like a series where they kind of release one stamp every year for each year of the war. So it went from 1812 on to like almost 18. I guess they issued a stamp every year. So it was like 2012 through 2016. So there's like 4 series of stamps that I have. guess it's easier to see them this way. And each stamp kind of depicted something important that played a big part during the war. So when I was looking at these stamps, I was just, I was doing a little research when I bought them back starting in 2012. And then at the same time, actually Canada released 2 sets of stamps commemorating the bicentennial of the War of 1812. And their stamps depicted their own sets of heroes during the war. So one set depicted Sir Isaac Brock and Tecumseh, Chief Tecumseh, and then there was another one that depicted, this is Laura Secord and Charles de Salisbury. Apparently, though they were heroes on the Canadian side of their, and they have their own short stories and histories as well. So I just thought it was interesting that I was able to get stamps from both sides celebrating their own hero from the war. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I appreciate that. Skip, anything for show and tell? Okay, if we don't, John, do you have anything for show and tell? You're on mute, John.
Nothing tonight. Nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight. Okay. Who have I left out besides myself?
Gary.
Oh, Gary McNamee. Gary, can you take it off mute and anything you want to tell us? Okay, I'm not hearing from Gary. Oh. Gary, anything to tell us?
Yeah, Dave.
I guess not. I'll go to mine. I had the opportunity a week or so ago to look at a collection that a lady wants to dispose of. Her husband was a member of the Mid-City Stamp Club several years ago and attended some of the early meetings we had here in Granbury. He was on, as a matter of fact, the city council. His name was Laurel Perkle, an insurance agent.
Oh, yeah, I remember Laurel.
And Laurel had an extensive collection of plate blocks starting in the 30s and almost complete from the 30s up until about 2000. And that's housed in 9 different albums. And then he has 4 albums of US stamps, starting with US number 1, which he had 1. He also had in the collection numbers 3 and 4, which you seldom ever see, and I cannot verify that they are valid or they are not counterfeit, but somebody with more knowledge than I would have to look at them that knows something about 3 and 4, but he had 2 of those and many others there. 1 album in addition was just revenue stamps. But for looking at the collection, and I've tried to get both Jim Myers and Tom Cunningham to contact the lady, his wife, spouse, and see if they're interested. She gave me a few things. And one of the things she gave me, I'm going to take it out of so you don't get is a German
Zeppelin.
envelope that was on German Zeppelin in 1936 that went from Frankfurt to New York City. It's got the 2 German Zeppelin stamps on it. And I had these stamps. They're not high value like our Zeppelins, but I had never seen them on envelopes side by side, canceled in Germany and canceled in the back in New York City where it was received with a receipt date of May 9th. But that was my gift for helping the lady and giving her some ideas on selling it. So I was quite pleased.
Yeah, those stamps were used almost exclusively on Zeppelin flights. There's some of them out there, but they're pretty interesting.
Okay. All the ones I've ever seen were never on an envelope. Thank you very much, Rick. Anybody else have anything for show and tell?
How about Stan and Judy?
They did it, I think, before you got on.
Okay, sorry.
No
At
problem.
least Stanley had some show and tell. Judy passed. Did I leave anybody out?
Yeah. There you go.
Yep, that was Stanley's show and tell.
Oh, good.
Okay, going on to other things. The newsletter should have arrived last week in your mail. And if you didn't get it, need to contact somebody so they can forward you the copy. And I haven't had a chance to even read it yet. Somebody referenced it earlier. I think you
Got a
referenced
lot of
the
stuff. It's got a lot of
meat-
stuff in it.
meat and eats and
Ken's
such.
got an article in there.
A lot of been there, done that.
Yeah. Another thing that, or another organization that a few of us belong to is the Worldwide International Society, or the International Society of Worldwide Collectors. Today I received their newsletter. It's called The Circuit. This is a 44-page newsletter. Anybody, and if any of you want a copy of this newsletter, it was sent to me as an attachment to an email, and I can send the attachment to you so you can have the newsletter as well if you're not already a member. I think, Rick, you're a member, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't recall getting that newsletter. I don't know why.
Well, it came today, and our president or executive director apologized because it was late. And this is they issue this circuit every other month. This is the May-June issue, and you usually have it before the 15th. And this was late. And I was looking for it, and I already sent an inquiry about where was it, because they have in here, they're having their 100th mail bid sale, which you can see advertised right there. And there are over 400 items listed in this newsletter that are for sale. I always bid on probably 10 or a dozen, 15 items every newsletter, and the newsletter comes every other month. It's 2 months, every 2 months it comes. Last month I've got 2 items. Gary, I see your face, which means you've figured out how to get into us.
Yeah, can you hear me though?
Yes, I hear you now. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was having all kinds of problems with my camera, getting it synced into Zoom. So, but I guess I finally managed to do it.
Did you get your newsletter? Because I know
Yeah,
you're
I
a
got-
member.
Yeah, I got it yesterday, and I noticed there was an article in there describing a magazine called Stamp Collector. And so I went ahead and looked at that, and there were some interesting articles in there, including one on the stamps of Edward VIII of England, Great Britain, which are a fairly short list of stamps because he was only king for about a few months before he abdicated. And it looked like an interesting article about all the different varieties of those Edward VIII stamps from back in the 30s.
That's
Okay.
a British magazine, isn't it? Stamp Collector.
I'm not sure where it's published, but there's a little application called Pocket Mags, which allows you to subscribe to it and get individual issues and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. And if any of you that are not members would like a copy of the newsletter, send me an email and I'll forward it to you. So give you more reading material and you may wish to join. It's a highly pricey organization. I think it costs $10 a year,
No,
$12.
12.
$12 a year to join.
I did get my newsletter in the mail, Dave.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Well,
need you to send me one.
I get mine electronically.
Yeah.
But, all right, we'll move on. Earlier this month, the Texas Stamp Dealers Association held their sale in the DoubleTree Hotel in Richardson. Did any of you get to go and tell us about what happened and how it went?
We went. And
How did it go, Stan?
I think it went real well. Madeline said, I think there were 78 people when we were there Saturday that showed up, which isn't bad at all. The dealers looked like they were busy, and they also were taking gift cards for anybody that has
I
got
broke them into that.
love gift cards and you want to get rid of them. TSDA is a good place to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went on Friday and I got rid of 4 of my gift cards that way, and I made sure that everybody knew about it.
How many dealers did they have?
There was
15.
a full load, about 15 or 16 dealers.
Yeah, 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
There's some new ones.
Jonathan Topper wasn't there. He was out having knee surgery.
Yeah, and Kurt Harding wasn't there.
Right.
How about George Watkins? Was he there?
No.
Yeah. Anybody know how he's doing? Have heard anything health-wise?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I know I know he was in a lot of pain with his back. I don't know whether he had surgery or not.
All right. Gary, did you have a where in the world is it for us?
Yeah, I did. This country.
Now, before you start, Gary, let me explain it. Gary's going to give us clues based on philatelic things about a country. And your job is to find or guess or select what country that is. So when you've got an idea what you think it is, just call it out.
Okay. This country issued its first stamp in 1957. And it had a declaration of being a republic in July of 1960. It's known for and has stamps involving bamboo and cacao. And it was formed from 4 separate British territories, including the Gold Coast.
Ghana.
Hey, who got it, Rick?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Very good, Rick. Okay, thank you, Gary, for testing our knowledge. All right, is there any other business that needs to come or things we need to discuss before I turn it over to Rick to show a program? I selected a program titled The 10 Most Unusual Stamps. It's a rather short program. What is it, 7 or 8 minutes, isn't it, Rick? Something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, it's not very long.
So it's not very long and informative. So any other business?
Okay, I'd like to announce that the Arlington meetings are going to go live starting next month. And our meet and eat for next month will be Campo Verde.
Very good.
We will also attempt to do a Zoom broadcast from that
That's
meeting
right. Yeah.
as well.
And the
So,
program is
we'll see how
clean
that-
out the closet.
Clean out your closet.
Clean out the
Right.
closet. Come out of the closet.
Have we got
Yeah,
little
come on.
tags or anything we need to put on our items for sale, Judy?
No, I don't think you need to.
Okay.
No, no,
No,
no,
no one, if they are, no one said anything to us about it.
no.
All right. I know when
It's not
I conducted some, I had little tags that you
Yeah.
put your name so you know who to pay and
That's not a bad idea.
how much it is. and
Yeah.
just a brief description of what it was.
Okay. I tell you what, would you send that description and stuff to Skip?
I've got a master of it. I can send it to Skip and he could forward it to club
Yeah.
members to use. Skip,
Skip, would you do that?
do you want to do that? They're about that big, and that way you know whose it is, and everybody's got a common format.
Yeah. No, perfect.
Okay, I'll send that to Skip and you can forward it and announce, because I hadn't read the newsletter yet and didn't know that it was what the program was.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I've
Bob,
arranged,
if
I've
you're
arranged for a rental truck.
what's,
Well, then
well,
I'm not even going.
I'm gonna bring a truckload of stuff for you, Ken.
Is that
Okay.
to sell, Ken, or to buy?
To sell.
Rick, I'm turning it over to you for our program.
Okay, thanks, Dave. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background here. What happened at our Arlington meeting? I had been in touch with Scott English, and I had some concerns about copywriting on these videos that I've been showing. And Scott told me that it was okay to go ahead and use them in any way I wanted to. And I told him that we had been stopping recording of our meetings when we got to the video portion of it. And Scott said, well, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. He says, go ahead and record that and include it in your recording of the meeting. So I thought, well, we'll try that too and see what happens. Well, it kind of overloaded my computer when I tried to do that. And I got my computer hung up about 2/3 of the way through the video at the Arlington meeting. So this time what I'm going to do is just go ahead and stop recording our meeting and go ahead and play the video. But hopefully we won't have any problems with that. So